Hello, guys! Turbocharged 51 over here! I hope you're having a splendid day wherever you are in the world. Welcome back to the channel. And today we are giving our predictions for the 2025 Formula One World Drivers and Constructors Championship. And I'm very much looking forward to this one. This is probably the most anticipated season we have had in a very, very, very long time. And I'm very excited. So let's get straight into it. And guys, it's going to be a fun one. I'm not going to over-explain anything because there's a time and a place for that, but most of it is self-explanatory. Let's get straight into it. In 21st place, and you're probably thinking, but Turbo, there's only 20 drivers on the grid. I know, but I've got a joker card, and I'm going to play it soon. In 21st place, I've gone for the rookie driving for Alpine, Mr. Jack Doohan. Plain and simple, guys, I haven't seen anything special from Jack Doohan in the lower formulas. He is a good driver, but there's nothing that special about him. For instance, like Gabriele Bortoleto, or a Felipe Drugovich, or a Teo Porcher, Kimi Antonelli, Ollie Behrman. So I just don't think there's much, and Alpine have kind of given us the feel that he's not going to be in that car for long, which is why we're playing a joker card. But we'll get to that in a second. 20th place, I've gone for Nico Hulkenberg. Now, everybody's probably thinking, you disgrace. How can you put the Hulkster in the realistic last place? Hear me out. I don't think Nico Hulkenberg is less talented. This is everything down to the car. I think that Kick Sauber is going to be a terrible car once again this season. And even though Audi is coming in, I still don't think it's going to mean much. I don't think they've got the funds right now to get that car where it needs to be till Audi takes over. I think Audi are going to have to just do what they can. But right now, I don't see it. And in 19th, I've put his rookie teammate Gabriele Bortoleto because I see something special about this kid. He's good, he's fast, and he had some exceptional performances in last year's Formula 2 Championship. I think Bortoleto is going to have a race like Guan Yu Zhou did last season in Qatar, where he's just going to be on pace. He's going to hit every apex, be perfect, and score a P8 or a P9, maybe a P10. But I think it's going to happen more than once. And that is why I think points-wise, he edges Nico Hulkenberg. And that brings us to 10th place in the Constructors' Championship. Kick Sauber, already explained, I just don't think that's going to be the best car. And even if they do have development, I don't think it's going to be a very big, substantial amount of development. That brings us to P18 in the Drivers' Championship. And I've gone for the rookie in the Racing Bull seat, Isaac Hadjar. Now, guys, Isaac Hadjar is the only driver that took the battle to Gabriele Bortoleto till the end of last season. And in Formula 2 now. And the kid is good, but again, he's a lot for me like he's good. He's really good. It just doesn't have that edge for me. Do I think he's going to be an F1 for a few years? I actually do. I just don't think he's a George Russell, a Lando Norris, Alex Albon. I don't see that in him, but I am open to be proved wrong, and I really hope that he does have a good season. Then in P17, Lance Stroll, it is self-explanatory. Let's move on. In 16th place, I've put Esteban Ocon, who now drives for Haas F1. And yes, I do think Franco Colapinto, I think Ollie Behrman, I just gave myself away there. In any case, I do think Ollie Behrman is going to beat Esteban Ocon. Esteban Ocon, ever since he left F1, after driving alongside Perez in the Racing Point times, he's just never been the same since he's come back. Yes, he's gotten a victory after he came back, but it's not the Esteban Ocon of 2017, 2018. And I've never liked Ocon. He's a fabulous bloke. I've watched many interviews of him. I just personally don't like him, especially on track. And I don't think he has that fire anymore. I don't know why, but I just don't think he has that fire anymore. Now, I gave myself away let's talk about Franco Colapinto because he is my joker, and I've put him in P15 for the Drivers' Championship. I feel if he replaces Doohan early, this position can be better, but I think it's going to happen at the midway point of the season after the summer break. Or within the summer break. And I think with the Alpine looking like such a good car, I think it's really, really, really going to be a good car, especially in the hands of Pierre Gasly. But if Colapinto does the same that he did last season and he comes out the blocks running, he can still easily secure a P15 if the tiles fall correctly for him. So I've gone Franco Colapinto, P15 as my joker card. Then, 9th place in the Constructors, I've gone for Haas F1. And you're probably thinking, why Haas? Guys, it's very clear that Haas are focusing on 2026. And we all know Haas is the smallest team on the grid. They usually have one, maybe two massive upgrades of the year. And I think this year, they might have one decent upgrade for the year. I think that car's going to start off fast because they ended 2024 with a very good car. But I think that car's going to stagnate at a certain stage of the season, and then it's going to fall into the realms of Kick Sauber and the team that I've put in 8th place in the Constructors. Now, with that being said, we're sticking with the Haas topic. 14th place in the Drivers' Championship, I have gone for Mr. Ollie Behrman. Guys, just like Gabriel Bortoleto, there's something special about this kid. That performance he had in the Ferrari in Saudi Arabia last year spoke volumes. It spoke volumes. And I think this kid is it's gonna be a lot like Lando Norris. It's gonna be a long time of development. But when he's gonna get there, he's gonna get there. And it's gonna be something to watch. And I honestly think he already has the minerals to beat Esteban Ocon. And that is why Ollie Behrman has been placed in 14th position. Now, so 13th position in the Drivers' Championship. I'm also going to speak about 8th place in the Constructors' Championship. And that is Yuki Tsunoda and Racing Bulls. Guys, that is by far the most beautiful car. Okay, not by far, but it's definitely the most beautiful car on the grid. Again, I feel like I said when I talked about Haas, that car is going to go up to a certain stage of development. They're going to cut it off, focus on 2026. And it's going to fall into the rounds with Haas and Kick Sauber. Although Yuki Tsunoda is on a very good momentous run, and I think Tsunoda is going to have a good season. I think this could possibly be Tsunoda's best season in F1. He's not a rookie anymore. He's not a young driver. Well, he is young, but he's not new to the sport anymore. He's experienced now, and he has got a lot cooler head on himself. And I think this is going to be a very strong season for Yuki Tsunoda. Which brings us into a P12. And I have gone for Alexander Albon for Williams. Now, let me just mention 12th, maybe even 13th for Tsunoda included, but I don't think so much. But 12th to 9th position, I think is going to be exceptionally close. I think it's going to be a very close battle between these few drivers, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it. Albon, do I think he's a terrible driver? No. Do I think he's going to be able to stick it to Sainz? Most of the time, yes. But I think over a full season, Sainz is going to be the overall better driver and the more consistent driver. Nothing against Albon. I think just of these drivers in this list, he's not going to quite be there. He's going to be the bottom of the pile for this group. Which brings us to P11. Pierre Gasly. Now, guys, I think Alpine have got a car this year that if something happens at the front, it can get a podium. And Gasly is going into, I want to say, a 2020 Gasly again. The way he ended last season was phenomenal. His qualifying pace, his race consistency was something insane. And I am so looking forward to seeing what Gasly can do if that Alpine is indeed as good as it was hinted towards during preseason testing. I'm very much looking forward to it. And these positions from 12th to 9th, they can jump around. They can honestly jump around. So this is my prediction, how I hope it turns out. And at the end of the year, we're going to reflect on this video to see what I said. But yeah, I've gone for Pierre Gasly P11. And jumping into the top 10, 10th place, I've gone for Fernando Alonso. Now, Alonso is always going to be on top of it, whether he's in a fast car, an average car, or an absolutely useless car. Alonso is Max Verstappen before Max Verstappen ever was a thing. He was Max Verstappen before Max Verstappen was Max Verstappen. If you take seasons like 2012 in that absolute pile of dog crap Ferrari, he was fighting for a championship, and that was, at best, the fourth fastest car of the season. And that's being gracious. Honestly, that's being gracious. He's always exceeded the car's capabilities, and I think it's going to be another season like that, because Alonso's contract is running out at the end of the season. And I think he's going to need to fight for a contract extension or a new contract with another team. And I think Fernando Alonso, he's still got it. He's still got it. That typical WWE chant, you still got it. You still got it. Absolutely for Fernando Alonso. But I don't think he's going to be the best Spaniard on the grid. That is going to be Carlos Sainz. Am I buying into the Carlos Sainz hype after preseason testing? Pretty much. Pretty much. And everybody who's been a member of this channel for long knows that I absolutely adore Carlos Sainz. He, besides Fernando Alonso and Pierre Gasly, he is my favorite. I absolutely love him. I also love his father, Carlos Sainz Sr., who's a very, very successful rally, off-road and Dakar driver and champion. So, and I think Carlos Sainz is going to have a standout season. And I still think, if you guys watch me and my friends' podcast, Break at the Apex, by the way, links in the description down below if you guys want to go check it out. Myself, Graham, and BT have said in the past that, well, mostly me, but I'm the one that believes this. Carlos Sainz is working with a master plan. He is building an advertisement of himself for the Big Four again. And as soon as one of those seats goes open, he's going to pounce. He's just building an advertisement. He's got more. He's not very old. He is one of the oldest drivers on the grid, but not that old. He's still got a good run in Formula One left. And I think Carlos Sainz is working with a master plan. Keep an eye on Sainz, and this season is going to be a Sainz masterclass, if you ask me. That brings us to P7 in the Constructors' Championship. I have gone for Aston Martin. Reason I've put Aston Martin below the rest is because Lance Stroll is going to be the one dragging them down, and Fernando Alonso is going to carry that whole Aston Martin team on his back like he has been doing since he got to Aston Martin. There's going to be no difference, and I also think that car eventually, because Aston Martin have stated very clearly that they are focusing on 2026, that car is also going to be developed only up until a stage, and then they are just going to say, this is where we are, it's 2026 now. So I still think P7 in the Constructors is going to happen. P6, I've gone for Alpine. And you're probably thinking, are you smoking some good stuff? No, I'm not. I think with the Carlos Sainz Masterclass, I'm going to talk about P5 and the Constructors as well. I think the Carlos Sainz Masterclass with a very consistent Alex Albon behind him, I think Williams are going to edge Alpine in the Constructors. I think this is going to be the best season for Williams that they've had in probably 10, 15 years. So, okay, no, not 15, 10 years. 10 years, because it was about 2015, 2016, where they were very, up there in the championship. So I think it's going to be their best performance since the last 7 to 8 years. And I think they're going to edge Alpine. I just think the team combo of Williams is going to have a better point scoring than Pierre Gasly and a late incoming Franco Colapinto. So that is the first 12 done and the first 6 constructors. Now we get into the juicy part that everybody really wants to know. Let's get into it. Alrighty then. P8 in the Drivers' Championship. I have gone for Liam Lawson. Do I think Liam is going to do as bad as Sergio Perez against Max Verstappen? No. I think the kid's got the minerals to actually do really, really well. And I think he's really going to have a few good performances. I just think the fact that it's going to be his first full season, I don't see him as a rookie anymore. He's raced enough races to not be a real rookie like some of the other drivers, some of the other rookies. But he's definitely not a veteran. He's still an amateur, if you can put it that way. So I mean, I'm interested to see what Liam Lawson does. I also just haven't bought into the Liam Lawson hype. I don't feel the kid is as special as everybody says he is. But again, just like with other rookies that I've mentioned, I am more than open to be proven wrong. In P7, I've gone for the rookie at Mercedes, the one replacing 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton, Kimi Antonelli. And guys, I'm slowly but surely starting to see what Toto Wolff's talking about. There's something special about this kid. Will he keep hold of that specialness and actually push forward and eventually get to, say, a George Russell levels of talent, a Lando Norris, a Max Verstappen, a Charles Leclerc, maybe even a Lewis Hamilton? Because according to Toto Wolff, this is the next big thing in Formula One. Do I think it's a possibility? Absolutely. Is there still proof that needs to come from Kimi Antonelli? Absolutely. But I think he's going to beat Liam Lawson this season. Then, in P6, I've gone for George Russell. Now, let me put it this way. The top 6 in the championship is going to be an absolute fight fest, and it's going to be incredibly close. My bold prediction for the season is that the top 6 drivers will be separated by 75 to 100 points come the end of the season. Not more than that. And if you guys look at previous seasons, there hasn't been so many drivers that close together. And I think it's a real possibility. Talking about George Russell that I've put in P6, I think Russell is going to win a few races this year. I think he's going to win more than last year. But I think that Mercedes is still going to be very inconsistent. I think it's still going to be a car that only works in certain conditions and at certain tracks. It's not going to have the overall season consistency of the other 3. And that is why I've placed George Russell in 6th. But because that I think he's going to win more races or be a more regular podium contender, I still think he's going to be close to the drivers running at the front. And I really hope for a good season for George Russell. Unlike my colleagues for Break at the Apex, I don't have such a dislike towards George Russell. Not that I'm saying I like him, but I also don't dislike him. And he's a fast driver. That's what nobody can deny. He's good. He's fast. Let's see what Russell can do in 2025. Now the big 5. Oh, and some people are going to hate me. In 5th place, I've gone for the new man at Ferrari, Mr. Lewis Hamilton. Sir Lewis Hamilton, apologies to any Brits watching this video. Do I think Lewis is going to have a good season? Yes. Do I think his first win in red will come this season? Yes. Do I think he's going to be fighting for the championship this season? No. Like I said, the top 6 are going to be very close points-wise. But I don't think Lewis is yet going to have that killer instinct that he had with Mercedes. I think it's going to take at least a season to get that back. But I still think he's going to be very good. And yes, I do feel Charles Leclerc is going to beat him this season. But I am very hopeful and very curious to see what Hamilton is going to do. And I still think he's still going to have a very, very good season. In P4, and get out your knives and your torches and pitchforks and come for me. Because in P4, I have gone for Lando Norris. Everybody is hyping up McLaren and Lando Norris. No, this is Lando's year. He's going to win the championship. This and this and this and this. And again, I am open to being proven wrong. Do I think Lando has the minerals to be a world champion? I don't. I'm sorry. If it's an utterly dominant car, like, for instance, a 2014, 2015 Mercedes, possibility. Very, very big possibility. But it's not that. Yes, the McLaren right now might look as the fastest after preseason testing. We still don't know for sure. Might look like the fastest car. Lando hasn't shown me yet that killer instinct that Charles developed in the last few years, that Max has, that Lewis has, that someone like Fernando Alonso has. And I don't have anything against Lando. I do not hate the guy. I've learned to like Lando a lot in the last few years. I just don't think he has it. And I think this year, if the car's there and he's in that position, I think he's going to crumble under pressure. And even his teammate, has got a more sturdy mind and a more sturdy head on his shoulders when it comes to this, as of what we have right now as proof. So P4, Lando Norris. Now, let's do the top 4 in the Constructors' Championship. P4, I have gone for Red Bull. Again, bring out your pitchforks and your torches. Why do I think Red Bull... I'm going to talk about 4th and 3rd together. Why do I think Mercedes, who is 3rd, is going to beat Red Bull? Because I think Antonelli is going to beat Lawson. I think even though Russell is in P6 and Max is reasonably high, I think the split between the top 6 and 7th and 8th is going to be a big chunk in the drivers. And I do think it's going to be extremely close. But I think Mercedes are going to have an overall edge. Do I think the Red Bull's going to be a terrible car? No. Anything in the hands of Max Verstappen is not a terrible car. I just don't think... I think the combo of Russell and Antonelli is going to be slightly stronger over the period of a full 24 race season than Verstappen and Lawson. Again, well, let's see what happens. This is my prediction. If you differ, throw it down in the comments down below. Let's talk about it. This is just how I feel and how I see things playing out. Doesn't mean I'm right, but I'm allowed to have my own opinion. Now, 2nd place in the Constructors' Championship, I've gone for McLaren. Do I also feel that's the fastest car on the grid right now after testing? Yes. Do I think it's by a lot, as many people are thinking? Hell no. Hell no. There was definite sandbagging at preseason testing. And I think the McLaren is definitely going to be a very, very tough car to beat. But it's not an impossible car to beat. It's not a 2022 or 2023 Red Bull. It's not. It's not a 2014 Mercedes. It's not a 2011 Red Bull. It's not. I just don't think... Everybody is hyping this car up as if it's one of those category dominant cars. And it's not. It's not. And I think it's going to be close again. But I don't think McLaren are taking a 2nd Constructors' Championship. I'm going with the team in red. I'm going with the Scuderia Ferrari. I think Ferrari are taking the Constructors' Championship this year. Guys, that interaction that Charles and Lewis had at the end of Abu Dhabi, where you could feel the disappointment of Charles Leclerc. And Lewis was the one to come and comfort him. And I am almost certain when Lewis went to Charles's ear, he said, next season is ours. And the confidence and the mental strength of these two together, fighting for the Constructors, man, it's coming home. It's coming home to the Tifosi, if you ask me. Ferrari win the Constructors. Now, the creme de la creme. Top 3 in the Drivers' Championship. And for 3rd place, I've gone for Max Verstappen. Do I think Max is going to be in the title fight? Yes. Do I think he's winning the title? Obviously, no. Do I think he's still going to go into the title fight for most of the season? Yes. The reason I don't think he's winning, I don't think Red Bull can develop that car that far anymore. I've said multiple times that the concept that they've built has almost reached its ceiling. And they are not right now in a position where they can just change concept like Ferrari has or like Mercedes did multiple seasons. They can't. That car's going to get faster, but the absolute same as what I said with Haas. That car's going to stagnate. And that's what's going to cost Max the championship. He's still a phenomenal driver. He's still consistent. I just don't think he's going to be there. But second bold prediction. I still think with 3 races to go, the last 3, I still believe there's going to be 3 drivers able to win the Drivers' World Championship. Let's talk about second and first. In P2, I've gone for Oscar Piastri. And in P1, I've gone for Charles Leclerc. The last time Ferrari won a Constructors' Championship was 2008. The last time Ferrari won a Drivers' Championship was with Kimi Raikkonen in 2007. It's been way too damn long. And it's our year. I'm telling you guys, yes, I'm a Ferrari fanboy. Yes, I jump on the Ferrari hype train every year. But something feels different about 2025. It's not just hype train trying to lie to ourselves that Ferrari can do it this year. You get this year. The last time we felt like this was back in 2018 when Ferrari had a real fast car against Mercedes. And I think this year's the one. Talking about Oscar Piastri, it comes down to what I talked about when we spoke about Lando. I think Oscar's got that killer instinct, and I think now that it's his third season, he's going to take that step. He's going to take the consistency step. He's going to take the not the overall, but the big pace check. He's going to have the tire wear check. Everything is just going to click. And I think that is when people are going to see that Oscar Piastri is a future world champion, but not yet. Not yet. And Charles Leclerc, guys, last season was the defining season of Charles Leclerc. And I'm referring specifically to Monza. Monza was such a positive and extremely, I can't get to the word, but an extremely, if you want to go Afrikaans, volwassen, I can't get to the word, but there we go. An extremely mature drive. And with radio messages throughout the whole season last year, certain decisions he made, the way he raced, Charles is ready. And I don't think any driver on this grid is more hungry than Charles Leclerc. And I think in 2026, with new regulations, we're going to see a number one on that Ferrari. Guys, that is my predictions for the 2025 Formula One Drivers and Constructors Championships. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. If you're different from me, I say again, everybody is allowed their own opinion. This one is mine, and I'm sticking with it. We're going to reflect at the end of the year to see how wrong I was, except for number one. For number one, Mr. Leclerc. Let's go, guys. Have a beautiful, wonderful day. Remember, your mind is to be stronger than your feelings. Hit the like down below. Check out the links in the description. And don't forget to hit that subscribe and ding that bell. I'll see you guys soon where we talk a little bit more World Endurance Championship and a little bit more just cars. Stay tuned. And also Season 3 of Building the Ultimate Track Toy is around the corner. I'll see you guys soon. Cheers!